Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
All right, Gabrielle Hopp and Alison Tigos and Jill Nicolini, right? Am I here? Yes. Good to see you guys. They're the co-owners of One Tree Yoga. So excited to have them here from Omaha, Nebraska. Welcome to the show. How are you ladies doing?
Hi, we're good. Thanks for having us.
Well, thanks for being here. Well, I would love to have us get to know you. I know you have two locations based in Omaha, correct? And for those that may not know, it's time to get to know you. I mean, you've been in business for quite some time. So I don't know who wants to start first. Who you guys decide.
Alison, go ahead.
All right, I'll take it away. So yeah, One Tree Yoga, we're based in Omaha, Nebraska. We've been in business. The studio's been around for about 22 years. But Gabe and I have been owners for the last about 4.5 years. We've been teaching at the studio a good decade. So we've been around the studio for a long time and we obviously love it.
Beautiful. And let me ask you, I guess, in regards to how you both got started. Let's go back. I think it's important for people to get to know you. They're going to go to a studio. They're going to feel that love, that warmth, that energy, and learn from you all. Tell us about yourselves and then what brought you two together.
Yeah, so I started my yoga practice in college. I think Alison started actually in high school. But in the early 2000s, I started yoga and it was like just this like instant magic where I was like, I have to do this every day. I have to do this for the rest of my life. And I went to school in Indiana. So I finished out my college career there. And then when I came back to Omaha, I started practicing at One Tree Yoga. And that was really what took me to the next level in my practice. And Alison and I met there, I'd say around like 2007, 2008. And we were just in classes together all the time. And through some traveling, I eventually came back to Omaha in 2014. And then we teamed up to do teacher training and we were both managing studios. And then that's kind of where we started our pathway towards ownership and being in charge together.
Wow. And on your end, I mean, I know her story, but tell me a little bit more about you. That's exciting. Wow.
Yeah, it's similar in the way that I was pretty young when I started. I think I took my first yoga class in high school. And yeah, right away, I wasn't quite sure why I felt so great, but I just knew like, this is something I need to keep doing. I felt pretty amazing. And so, yeah, through college and grad school, I sort of kept returning back to the studio. I even cleaned the studio in exchange for free yoga for some years when I was in school. And then, yeah, I started to teach, started to manage the studio, and Gabe and I became owners. So we've been around there for quite some time. So
beautiful. Yeah. And by the way, the website is onetreeyoga.com. That's ONE treeyoga.com. Let's talk about some of the classes you all offer. And the amazing part is you don't have to be in Omaha. Hello. Now with Zoom, with virtual classes, right? Anything's possible. So you have clients all over the world.
Yeah, that was sort of the one big benefit with the pandemic is that it kind of forced us into this, we need to do this online thing. And so yep, we offer Zoom classes. We have a YouTube channel. So we offer some sort of shorter snippet kind of classes on our YouTube channel. But then we also have a variety of styles that we offer. Really, we kind of ascribe to the idea that yoga should be for everybody. And so we want it to be accessible and, you know, find something that works for all kinds of people.
Awesome. And what type of classes are we teaching? Tell us, give us some examples.
So we have everything from beginners all the way up through seniors. We really focus on teaching people the discipline of yoga. That's our main goal is that people feel like they learned something. And so because of that, because of the way that we teach, almost all of our classes are accessible to everyone. We have hot yoga for people who are really into that, the heat. A lot of people like that, especially like newer people when they're first learning the art of stretching and the potential discomfort of that. The heat kind of alleviates that. And so, yeah, even though, you know, some of our classes may seem more aerobic than others, like vinyasa, or hatha, we really feel like anybody can attend any of our classes comfortably and safely.
Beautiful. And also you have the online training videos. You can go to their website again and read more about all the styles of yoga that they offer. One in particular I've never seen, and I'm not a big yogi. Like when I was younger, I used to do yoga and Pilates, and then I have two kids now and I just don't get enough exercise, to be honest. That's my own issue. But I was reading before, I just don't laugh at me the way I pronounce it, but is it Hatha and Yin? Classic.
Yep.
Am I saying it wrong?
Yeah.
What is that?
No, you're saying it right. Hatha is what we typically call it. That's sort of our signature class at One Tree, I would say. I mean, Hatha really is kind of all yoga, could fall under that umbrella, but we typically, our Hatha classes are very alignment based. They're sort of structured in anatomy and sort of how the body moves, and really teaching people how to do the poses so that when they go to a class where it moves a little bit quicker, they have a good foundation. That's kind of our foundational class.
Okay. And then what about Yin?
Yin is a style that is done almost all on the ground. It's super slow. So you hold poses between 3 and 5 minutes. And they're designed to be held for a long time. So they're not, like super challenging. But it is challenging to be in a pose for 5 minutes. And so we use lots of props and lots of cueing around the breath in order to help people stay in poses for that amount of time.
Oh, and now you both, besides offering classes and teaching classes, you also teach teachers as well?
Yeah, that's our
right.
we teach teachers. That's kind of our favorite thing. So yeah, we have a really great teacher training program at One Tree Yoga. Gabe and I have been leading it together for about 10 years. And we, sort of pride ourselves in that. I think we do it a little bit differently than it's typically done. So we not only dive into all that is yoga, we do anatomy, philosophy, we kind of dive into the subject, but we also teach teachers how to teach, which seems a little bit like duh, but you'd be surprised at, how often that doesn't always happen. And so we spend a couple of months on actual teaching methodology, like how to sequence a class and put poses together, how to verbally cue poses, and how to explain that sort of thing. And so it really leaves people with the confidence to either teach a class if that's what they want to do, or just to understand yoga a lot more.
Got it. And, I'm reading your notes as well. But one thing I didn't see in there, which I think it might be helpful for us to know, is what are the benefits of yoga? There's plenty, right? Could you share that with all of us? Because some people, beginners especially, may be like, well, what is it going to do for me? How's it going to make me feel? What happens to my body? So give me some examples of the benefits. And I love the smiles on their faces. If you're not live on the Zoomcast, if you're on the podcast, you could tell they're like ready to scream out these benefits, because clearly they love what they do.
Yeah. So I think when people think about yoga, having never done yoga before, they think like, oh, yoga is stretching. And we certainly do stretching, but we also do strengthening. And so we think that as far as keeping the body healthy, it's this beautiful balance of strength and flexibility. And so yoga is a practice. You could call it an exercise, but it's a physical practice that you can do for your entire life. So it has this like longevity to it that I think a lot of other exercises don't. One of the most important things about yoga in my mind is that it teaches our nervous system to reset and to chill out. So through the practices of yoga, we learn how to tell our parasympathetic nervous system to click on. That's the nervous system of resting. And so we learn to be calmer. We learn to be less anxious. We learn to feel more grounded in our daily lives through practice.
Got it.
Yeah, I was just going to add that it's really one of the few physical disciplines out there that really does combine the physical with the mental kind of well-being. And so, I think most people, Gabe and I included, we started yoga as like this physical thing, and it still is. It's this great way to, like Gabe said, stay both strong and flexible. But that really what keeps us here is the fact that it, has like done so much for us mentally, emotionally, that like it's literally taught me to slow down and be more chill, which people that know me are like, really? It's like it's that sort of magic missing piece. I think that most people are just so busy and rushed and life is crazy and frantic. It's the chill we all need.
The chill we all need. Go ahead.
Yeah.
I also like that if you were to ask any person who does yoga, like, what are the benefits of yoga for you? Everybody would have a different list.
Okay.
But almost everybody would say, like, it makes me feel more calm. It makes me feel more present.
Got it. And one thing, maybe everyone's going to have a different one for this, but not the two of you. Mentor. Who is your mentor for yoga? I was reading that.
Yeah, Gabe and I both have several teachers that we have learned from and studied from and make time to still study with over the years. We actually both, because we started at One Tree Yoga, our first teacher was the same person. Her name is Teresa Murphy, and she's lovely. And you can also find her on online. But she really, I think, is what sparked in both of us that, like, oh, this is not just this exercise, it's this way of being and this way of living, and kind of sparked this interest that this is something we wanted to do beyond just come to classes. So I think we both would agree with Teresa being a big mentor to us.
Oh,
yeah, I think Teresa undeniably changed both of our lives and sent us in the direction that we eventually ended up in.
Oh, wonderful. Well, what else did you want to share about you, your company, benefits of yoga, and of course, how you can help our listeners?
Yeah, I think our main idea is, like, don't be afraid, don't be nervous. Like, if I think sometimes what we see on social media or on the internet makes yoga look really, like, scary and unattainable, and I think we really try at our studio to make it accessible for everybody, and that there are always ways to modify. There are always props and things to do that we can make it accessible for everybody. So don't be scared, and give it a shot. And most people, rarely does anyone ever regret coming to a yoga class. They always feel better when they leave.
Yeah, for sure. And how often, do you recommend people to partake in yoga? How long are the classes? What's recommended?
That's a great question, and people ask that question all the time. There isn't really a magic number. Honestly, like, any yoga is going to benefit you. Regularity is key for if you want to see progress, quickly. So, of course, the more effort you put in, the more you will get out of it. But, I think a sweet spot, even like once a week to start, and then landing somewhere between, 2, 3, 4 a week, is a really good place to be, especially if you do another physical discipline. If you exercise in a different way, it's such a good balance to the other almost any other physical discipline that you would do.
Got it.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like, I think most people are, everybody only has so much time, but that it really does complement other things. We have runners, we have, athletes. I do tons of other physical things. It's kind of always been my jam, and yoga has really been that nice balance. So, like Gabe said, even just to find a little bit of time, an hour a week, a couple hours a week, to fit it in when you can is great. It will only help.
Got it.
I will also say, as Alison mentioned early on in the show, on our YouTube channel, we have practices that are 10 minutes, 20 minutes, like any little bit of yoga that you can fit in will benefit.
Great. And I know you guys also have some workshops. I saw one coming up on the 28th, the Celestial Sound. What is it called?
Sound bath. Yeah.
What's that all about?
Oh, it's so magical. So we've teamed up with a gal who has like a full set of crystal singing bowls.
Ooh.
So you play them with a mallet, and they each make a different tone. And then she has a huge gong that she plays, and we get people into like a comfortable restorative pose so that they are really supported and they feel good in their bodies. And then she plays this music, and it just like surrounds you, and it's vibratory, and it's almost impossible to put into words, but really unique, really special.
Awesome. And give us the details on it, where, when, how we get involved.
Yeah. Yep. So we're at the West Studio in Omaha, Nebraska. And there's still a few slots, so you can sign up online. You can go to our website, onetreeyoga.com, and go to the schedule. You can sign up through there.
And then there's also these wall ropes workshop with you, Alison. What's that about?
Wall ropes. Wall ropes are great. So yeah,
I
we
can't
have
say
these,
it. Can you say it?
yeah,
Wall rope.
it-
It's
wall
like
rope.
I
Wall
like
rope.
saying
It's kind
walrus.
of
It's
a
like a
tricky
tongue
word.
twister.
Yeah. Tricky. Yeah, so we have this great system in our West studio where you basically can like plug these little ropes from the wall, and so you can kind of suspend from the wall. It's like a tractioning. It's really good for the back. You're able to, it again, like Gabe, it's a little bit hard to put into words, but you're able to sort of do poses with the tractioning and hanging from the wall and kind of feeling the weightlessness of that. It's super fun. It feels amazing. It isn't as scary as it appears or sounds. It's actually really, really accessible. So I offer it every couple of months when I can. And so just like Gabe said, hop on our website, can sign up for special workshops. These unfortunately aren't online because you have to be able to have the wall, or in
Yes.
Gabe's case, you have to have the music to be there. But it's a great way to like be in community with other people doing something fun.
Perfect. And then I also read there's meditation classes coming up with someone else. It's Anne Savory. Who's that?
Anne Savory, yes, we're super excited about it. Anne has been kind of a longtime friend and student of One Tree Yoga, and she has in the past several years done a really deep dive into her own meditation work, and she is kind of venturing out on her own and wants to offer her meditation practice to the students of One Tree Yoga and beyond. So it's the last 2 Mondays in February and the first 2 Mondays in March. It's a 4-week series. Introduction to meditation. You don't have to have any prior experience. It's also going to be great for anybody who already has a meditation practice. I'm sure she'll have tons of amazing ideas for how to really make it your own.
Awesome.
You can sign up online as well.
The science is really out there with, meditation and the benefits. I think it's like pretty undeniable. Gabe and I are big believers, and we of course try to offer bits of it in our classes when we can, but this is a great opportunity to like really get the full experience because, we only have so much time at the beginning of class to do some meditation work. So this will be a good way to do that.
And what about
Alison?
No.
Alison and I really believe that your practice goes to the next level when you start regularly meditating. It is truly the way to get to the peace of mind piece quicker.
Can you share a little bit about meditation practices right now? I mean, just give us a tip or two, because I heard you could do it quickly. It doesn't have to be 30 minutes. You could start off slow, especially for beginners out there who say, I'm too busy, I don't have time to meditate. Can you explain the process and the mindset and how it's done?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's really simple in theory, but in practice, of course, it's more difficult. But essentially meditation is, being comfortable. Often you'll see people seated. We are very much of the opinion that if lying down is more comfortable, that sort of thing. But to be in a comfortable, quiet space and just do nothing, right? Sit there, breathe, think about your breath, which is why it's so hard, right? Because most people were not so good at doing nothing. But it's that sort of calming a little bit of the mind and really just trying to hone your focus in on the breath is a really great tool. There are other things, there's so many different schools of meditation. But yeah, Gabe and I always encourage, like, start small. It doesn't need to be this long length of time, but that it really can just be a couple of minutes quietly, the start of your day before you get up and the craziness begins.
One of our meditation teachers, his name is Dean Slider. He teaches a style called natural meditation, and he teaches that like your meditation can happen anytime. Like when you're stopped at a red light, take a deep breath and like there's your meditation. So it doesn't have to be a formal thing. Now, if you sit formally with regularity, of course, then it does become easier and I think more enjoyable. But really, meditation can happen anytime, anywhere that you just need a moment of quiet.
And you're mindful. You're practicing being mindful.
Now, you guys are experts doing this if you say you've been doing it 22 years, you guys are in your 40s? Am I guessing your age? Is that wrong? I'm 45, but if you do 22 years, you start high school. So, all right. But what about for those newbies out there? Do you offer beginner classes for people who may be a little intimidated by your expertise and experience? And what about working with like the older, like seniors who've never done it? So tell me what you offer for beginners as well.
Yeah, we have an amazing teacher. Her name is Abigail, and she has recorded a 5-week beginner series. You can buy it on our website. You get it in video form, and she made notes and she wrote down the sequences. And so it's a really go at your own pace sequence, which would be a great way to start before if you feel like, oh, I need a little extra help before I get into regular classes.
Ooh.
Yeah, we also do offer specific classes for the senior population. Like Gabe said earlier, I mean, we do believe our classes really are accessible for everyone, but we understand that this is why we offer the beginner series. Beginners need a little more help, and that seniors, the way we would sequence a class for them would look a little bit different. And some of the props needed, like chairs and that sort of thing. So we do have a couple amazing teachers that teach to that population a couple times a week as well, which is great.
Awesome, guys. Well, we still have 6 minutes left in the show. What else do you want to share about you and your services?
I think besides don't be scared, don't be scared, come to yoga. I think, Gabe and I, when we took over the studio as owners, we were only sort of in charge for about a year before the pandemic happened. And so most of our business ownership has been in sort of this crazy, wild, not like anything we've ever experienced time. But I think if it's shown us anything, it's the need for community, right? So like coming together with like-minded people that all sort of want to feel their best, but also the need for yoga and for connectedness and for just finding inner calm, inner peace. It's, to me, more clear. I've always bought into it, but more clear than ever. And Gabe and I probably said to each other, I don't know, 1,000,000 times in the last 3 years, like, thank God for yoga. Like, we say it all the time.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and just to continue on that vein, I think when the pandemic hit, yoga was really at an all-time high. I mean, people, like, studios were flourishing, tons of people were coming to yoga. And the pandemic put a major stop to that, like it did to so many other small businesses and industries. And so I think that a lot of people got out of the habit of yoga. And when you get out of the habit of something, you start to feel like, oh, I don't need it. Or, I guess it wasn't as beneficial as, I thought it was. But really encourage anybody who backed off from yoga in the pandemic that, like, now is the time to come back. We still need it more than ever. And, it is always going to be there, but it's up to you to, like, take the step to make it happen for you.
Wow, amazing. Well, also today, let's remind everyone how we can reach out to you. And again, to reach out for the schedule of the classes, to join in the online Zooms, and of course for the workshops. Would you mind sharing that information?
Yeah, so our website is onetreeyoga.com. That's, like you said, where you can find schedule, pricing, questions about, like, what are these styles called? What are the levels? Read about the teachers. So that's where you'll literally find all information about us. We're also on social media, Facebook, Instagram, One Tree Yoga. So you can find us there as well.
Perfect. Thank you.
And our YouTube channel, channel is One Tree Yoga as well. It's ONE. And we have so many videos on our YouTube channel if you want to get to know us from the comfort of your own home.
And any inspirational words you want to share, words of wisdom, and why people should get started to work with you?
I think, there's a lot of yoga everywhere. And of course, I think any yoga is better than no yoga. But, specifically us, I think hopefully, it's clear our passion is there. We love it. We do this because we love it. And we do this also because we've seen it not only impact our lives positively. Both of us left, like, normal careers to do this full time. And so we also see it change people's lives every day, like literally every day. And so it's really that powerful. So I think, trust in that like we're here because we know that it is powerful.
Perfect. Thank you guys again at One Tree Yoga. My goodness. And is there anything else that we need to tell our listeners before we go in regards to you and your services? We still have 2 minutes, so I don't want to cut you short.
Sure. No, I don't think so.
Well,
I think
we can start to talk about our teacher training program. So
Sure.
it runs every year from October to May, kind of in line with the school schedule. It's an 8-month program, and so for people who are thinking about maybe doing a teacher training program, just getting it on their books for this October. We usually do the first weekend of every month where we meet, and then you have access to classes throughout the entirety of the program.
Oh, wonderful. Well, thank you guys again. Pleasure having you here. Looking forward to the next time we connect, and excited about this. And again, we got to talk about your classes coming up, and the workshop is it this on the 28th, right?
Yeah, this Saturday. This
now,
Saturday
will that
at
be
6 p.m.
if you miss it live? Can you go back to it at a later broadcast, or no? This one's a one-shot deal, or will it be on YouTube?
One-shot deal. Yeah.
All right, guys, get signed up. Thank you again for joining us. We appreciate it, and looking forward to the next time we connect. Have a fantastic day. And okay, I don't do yoga. I haven't done it in a while, but I know you guys all do this calm, peaceful thing, and I might say it wrong. It's something like namaste, or
you got it.
Is it? What did I say?
You nailed it.
Is it? What does that mean?
Yeah,
it means like greetings or salutations.
Okay. Salutations. Oh, yeah.
but the ethereal translation is the light that is in me bows to the light that is in you.
Thank you so much. Beautifully said. Thank you, guys. Really appreciate it. Have a good day.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.